Well, it is a super rainy day outside. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it is just bucketing rain out there. So what better day to make something delicious? So I'm going to get into these meringues. They are so straightforward, but will wow everyone that you bring them to. So I'm going to make a slightly larger batch today because the last time I made these, after I made the Eggs Benedict a few weeks ago, people at work went crazy for them. They just went right through them. So I'm going to make a large batch, bring them back into work so everyone can enjoy them again. Now this time I'm going to be making two variations of the meringues. I'll be making a vanilla meringue and a lemon meringue. Now note, this is not a pie. Meringues are a really delicious, like soft, crunchy, like baked marshmallow of a sort. It's hard to explain. So for the lemon ones, I'm going to start by zesting the lemon. I've got a grater here, just a real fine one, that I'll go ahead and run this to get some lemon zest out of it. Ooh, it smells so good. Yeah, so we can get that lemon flavor. Now, to keep the meringues so that they're crunchy and airy, we need to avoid putting extra liquids in them. And so if we want to add flavors like lemon, the only way to really do that is by adding lemon zest, because it's not going to flatten the meringues as they cook, because it's not going to add a lot of liquid to it. There we go. Oh yeah. Alright, so I have thoroughly zested one large lemon. The delightful smell of lemon just fills the air around here. It's so great. So we've got plenty of lemon zest here. I'll put that off to the side. We won't need it until much later. I just like to make sure I have that step out of the way. Next, what we're going to do is go ahead and separate our eggs. So I've got a couple bowls here and 6 eggs that I'll place in front of me. We're only going to use the egg whites for this. That's going to keep these nice and light and fluffy. And like for our Eggs Benedict, we only used egg yolk. This is a great substitute to cook something the night after. You've got all of your egg whites in a bowl or something that you've used to store them. And so then we'll go and make some, there we go, make some meringues. And we're down to our last egg. We'll go ahead and separate this one here. Unusable. Oh gosh, the yolk's coming out. Yep, we gotta get that yolk in there. We cannot have, so that was just terrible. So just horrible. But we cannot get any of this egg yolk in there. It will just ruin our eggs. I'm gonna wash my hands and clean up, but we're gonna come right back to this. Alright, so we've got a ton of egg whites. I'm going to put my egg yolks off to the side. You can use those for Eggs Benedict, like another video I posted recently. And for the egg whites, we're going to add these to the stand mixer. You want to use either a hand mixer or a stand mixer for this part because there is so much whisking that needs to happen here, especially if you're doing a batch as large as this. So I'll put all the egg white in there, put that off to the side. And then we're gonna go at it. Now this can take a little while. We're going to run it until it is really just completely fluffed up, that there's stiff peaks forming, it holds its shape really well. And once that happens, we're going to slowly add in some powdered sugar. Now I'll tell you about the powdered sugar now, and so I'll just show you the whole process happening after I start this. So what we want to do, and I've got R2D2 measuring cups here, is we want, for this size batch, probably, you want about, I think it's kind of to taste, but 1.5 cups of sugar per 4 egg whites maybe. So for the 8 that I've got, I'll probably use 2 cups of sugar, maybe 2.5. And then you want to add them very slowly. So for example, here is here is a tablespoon measure. I'm going to add just 1 tablespoon of powdered sugar at a time to the egg whites while they're fluffing up, or once stiff peaked have formed. So I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon at a time, and that will make sure that it does not deflate the egg whites, otherwise it will not cook right. While we're doing this, make sure you start to preheat your oven to 210 degrees. That's a pretty low temperature, but we're gonna bake these in the oven for an hour, 45 minutes. It's quite a long time. And then after that, we're actually gonna let them sit in the oven to dry and cool down for another half hour before we even put them in the containers. So let's get these all mixed up and lock that in. We'll enjoy some meringues here soon. I've got a rubber scraper. I'll go ahead and kind of get the stuff down from the sides with this. There we go. Now that should be plenty. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a touch of vanilla to this, because if you've been watching my channel, you know I love adding vanilla to pretty much everything. So I'm just going to add a few dots in here. Don't add too much. Again, this is a liquid. You want these to not get smushed down from too many liquids or anything, but we can add a few drops. It would be just fine. Now we'll know that this is just about done because the egg white itself is starting to get like a glossy look to it. It looks really smooth and beautiful. So the last thing to do is to start putting them onto baking pans, or baking sheets actually. We'll need some wax paper for this, so I've got wax paper here. No need to spray it down first. Don't do that. Definitely. We don't want to get like a crispy bottom that's like burnt-ish. We definitely just want to keep them nice and light. Now's the time to add in your lemon zest. So I'm going to make half of these on here, then I'll add the lemon zest to the other half. So here we go. Wax paper. I don't have anything to spoon these onto the pan with, so I'll be back. Alright, so I've grabbed a spoon to use here. We could just spoon these onto here and just get a dollop at a spot, but if you really want to wow your friends, try this. Grab a regular sandwich Ziploc baggie, fill this, and then what we're going to do is cut the corner and actually just use this to dollop them on there, and then we can kind of get a good swirl, get a little Q-tip at the top. Q-tip? I believe it's actually called a swirl, or whatever that tip is that looks beautiful, that's on the top of like ice cream cones. So we're gonna do that. Now I'm gonna get this bowl off so I can put it over here. Now one thing I like to do is leave it running a tiny bit and pull it out when it's lightly running. That will help entice it to lose some of that what's on the ladle. Now this is very thick, as in the sense of it will hold its shape. So even though I've done this, it's not going anywhere. In fact, all of this, I could put this upside down and it's not going anywhere. If you are brave enough, you too could try this. Now's the point where we fill this bag up with this delicious meringue mixture. There's so much here. It is crazy. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Do is seal this bag up. Try to get rid of some of this air. There we go. Now, when you cut the hole, cut it smaller than you think you need, because you can always cut it larger, but you cannot go back if you make it too big in the first place. There we go. Now my goal here is to just get a nice little puff circle with a whoop right off the top. Now, you don't want to make these too big. Maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches across at the most. You can bake them more if they go too long, but it takes a whole lot longer. There we go. That's a funny curly cube. Maybe Maybe try to come more up than sideways. Yeah, they hold their shape really well, so you're pretty good. You could put these really close to each other because they are going to hold their shape really well. If you did this right, they are not going to go anywhere, so you are fine. There we go. So there's some really beautifully swirled ones in here. Maybe if there's a couple of them that didn't quite work out, that you accidentally got way lopsided or something, you just eat those and bring the beautiful ones to work for everyone to admire. So next what we're gonna do is take our lemon zest, put it in the rest of this. So I've just thrown it all in there, why not? And I'm just gonna fold that in nicely with my rubber spatula here. There we go. It smells so lemony. Ah. I love the aroma of lemon or any kind of zesty fruit. The citruses can be so nice. That was so convenient. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to see if I can just use this rubber scraper. Whoa. Oh no, oh no. Okay, the rest of this might get a little messy. It doesn't matter. It's all worth it in the end. We're just... Oh gosh. So good. Okay, paper towel break. There, now we can continue. So I'm gonna make my lemon ones, just continuing where I left off. You should be able to tell which ones are lemon for the most part. There's the little bits of lemon zest all over those. There we go. Try to go a little quickly with these. I can already tell on my hand that the heat of my hand alone is causing issues with this. Making a little more runny than I want it to be. So try not to be holding on to this too long. Just go through, make them, and get going on. So I'm going to put this off to the side, grab another baking sheet, and we'll make another. Are you feeling creative? Why not try to make different shapes with this? Here's the important part. No large blobs. The large blobby parts are the parts that won't cook in. So try to keep the general diameter of the shape about the same. But yeah, you could try to make snakes with this. You could try to make little Tetris pieces. Maybe you're gonna make the Rebel logo from Star Wars. Woo! And I could tell you, just based on smell alone, this lemon one is going to be good. It's going to be so good. Light years ahead of the basic vanilla meringue. I'm already talking down on myself for making just those last time I made them. Last goop. Whoa! I don't know what's going on here. Oh no. That's not turning out. But the rest of these, woo! Okay, I'm gonna put these in the oven. It'll be about an hour 45. They are going to be in there a long time. And then after that, when they start to look like they're just starting to brown, don't let them get too much. Then turn off the heat. Let it sit in the oven another probably 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll transfer them to sealed containers. We do not want to leave these out. They will absorb humidity from the air and flatten and smush and... All right, let's go. Alright, so I have grabbed these meringues out of the oven. They, I think I left them in just a little too long. I made them too small. They probably should have been a little bigger for the hour 45 mark. But that being said, once the hour 45 was up, I turned off the heat, and then I did open it up and kind of pull one off to see that, kind of let it cool a moment to see if it tasted good. And it tasted great! The lemon meringues are the way to go on these. And so now we're going to let these sit just a moment to try to get them to cool off some more. And then we'll get them off the baking sheet and put them in an airtight container, so that way we can go with them. So let's see if they'll come off the paper here. Alright, okay, so this is a good sign, this kind of popping here. Oh yeah, so that's perfect. It came right off. We'll give it a try. Oh my goodness. So they're like somewhere between a baked marshmallow and maybe cotton candy. That's really good. Okay, are these the lemon ones? This is a lemon one. Oh, okay. So here's the part where I did put it in a little too long because they're kind of like sticking down a little more. But as long as we can separate these off, once it comes off, it's gonna be fine. They are going to love these. So one of the secrets with bulk snacks like this, let's go ahead and put the best ones in the container, and I'll bring those to work with me in the morning. And then any of them that didn't quite turn out, we'll go ahead and leave those here. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe and you try it at home sometime and maybe make them a little bigger or cook a little bit less than I did. But it's so great. Try it sometime. So easy. It is a little complex, but overall pretty straightforward. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to see more of my stuff. If you want to see another one of my videos, you can click over here to see it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.